Yeah, hello everyone. Hello, hello, hello. So I'm in Philly right now, a day after Ghana lost to Croatia in the last group game in the World Cup. It didn't really matter because we still were able to qualify and we are going to play Colombia in the next match in Kansas City. I just want to give you some rundown of what I experienced during the World Cup match, which was actually my first time watching the World Cup ever. So this was a really great experience. So I'm going to give you some rundown in terms of what happened before tactically or my observations during the game, and then what we should expect going forward. And it was actually an important observation for me because prior to that, everything that we've heard is based on other journalists' report and what we've watched on TV. So this time around, I was actually close to the action and I was able to watch it for myself and then observe and then be able to report on whatever that we've hearing and watching on TV. How is the direct feed and translation like when you are at the World Cup? Yeah, to start with, it was an interesting day because just some few hours before the World Cup match, it started raining. So almost all the fans were drenched even before they could enter the stadium. But thankfully, just before the game started proper, the rain stopped. So it was pretty smooth on the field of play. In terms of getting into the stadium, listen, the Philly Stadium, Lincoln Stadium is actually a really yeah nice one. It's actually a really beautiful stadium. It's really nice. About 68 to 70 thousand capacity. So that was really good, and there were a lot of fans are trying to get into the stadium. Those with tickets and then those without ticket as well. And so I'm sure you might have heard of all the brouhaha about the Ghanaian fans who just got to the stadium and they couldn't get ticket. They were expected to get ticket. That's an interesting one because I understand those who are already in the US and then they are trying to get to the stadium and see whether they'll be able to get a last minute ticket to enter. But if you are flying some people from outside the US, then from Ghana to the US, and I think that they should have the ticket in hand and not just come there and then tell them that, hey, you get the ticket when you get to the gate, right? So there were some scuffles and all that. They had to drive them to the car park and then wait for them to sort things out. Some of them were able to eventually get ticket and come in. Some of them didn't get, which was unfortunate, but it is what it is. I think there will be a lot of talk after the World Cup about ticket management and handling, especially the ones that were allocated to the GFA. But that's not what we want to talk about. But yeah, eventually getting into it, the vibe and everything that you see on TV is actually real, right? The way they display the flags on the pitch, the big flags, when the players walk in from the tunnel, the music that is played for each country is very interesting and it's very nice. And then the players walk in, the national anthems goes, and then the vibe all over the stadium is super awesome. The most interesting thing is that, contrary to most report or maybe what others expected in terms of the stadium maybe getting a lot of empty seats, this stadium was full for this game. About 68,000 people were in the stadium. So, and that has been the theme for all the World Cup games. Like, there's always full capacity. So, yeah, the tickets have been hiked. The prices are really high. Some are going over $1,000, which is really high. But people want it. It's the World Cup. It comes along 4 years. So why wouldn't people maybe break the bank to just get into it? So that's how it is. The stadium was really full. National anthem, I was there, sang it with full pride, Ghanaian. I enjoyed it. There were some Croatian fans, really respectful. We also respected them when they were singing their own national anthem. It was really nice and interesting to behold. And then there was kickoff. It was a slightly changed lineup for this match. And so the early exchanges showed that the Croatians were trying to study the game and then see how we were going to approach the game. So they were a bit defensive, but then later they started pushing on, and then eventually they got the goal. And then we were also able to come back, and then we were not able to defend our corner really well, and that was what led to the second goal. Now, interesting things to note. So let me start from the fans. It was mixed reactions, right? Because for most fans, some of them, that was their second game. Some of them, most of them, myself included, that was my first game at the World Cup. And so it's like we all know what was at stake in terms of the Thomas Partey issue. We didn't want a whole new Buhaha again because the venues for the next round had already been determined. And what it means is that if we're first, then we're going to play in Atlanta, which is in the US. If we're second, we're going to go to Toronto, which is in Canada. And that would have brought a lot of issues and a lot of media spotlight on Partey and everything. And I'll talk about Partey in a bit. And then if we're third, we're going to play in Kansas City, which is where we are going to play because eventually we came out third, right? So even within the stands or the fans, it was kind of mixed reaction. It's like, yeah, I'm at the stadium, I'm watching Ghana Blackstars. I probably want to win and celebrate and have a party and then all that. But then we all know that if we win, it's likely that we're going to play second, which meant that we're going to go to Canada and party. Thomas Partey might not be able to play. So that was some kind of a mixed expectations for the supporters. So even though they wanted to win, it looks like what they wanted really, really was a draw. Wanted a draw. That was that place is noisy, so I'll just follow where I'm going. I wanted to show you around and then go to another place. Where I am currently is around the city center, convention center. Yeah, there's a nice little park where you have the Philly. I love Philly sign and all that. Yeah, probably if I'm able to walk to that side, we'll go and see that. But yeah, back to what I was saying. So even within the fans, we're not sure. Like some people wanted to win, some people wanted a draw so that we play third and we still play in the United States. There will not be any party issue and then all that. So that was kind of the conundrum within the fans. But nevertheless, the party was ongoing. It's always a nice time to be at a stadium to watch, interact with people, meet people you've never met before, and then all that. That was still going. Now, why I'm bringing this up is that in terms of the play, when I watch the players on the field, because of all the issues that I've just talked about, one could probably think that this was also at the back of the minds of the players. And so you saw that there were some opportunities for some through balls, some opportunities to shoot the ball, and they were a bit hesitant. So I'm not really sure. I can't confidently say that the players knew what they were doing in terms of playing for a lose or probably a draw. But I didn't see a lot of urgency in the players in terms of the match. And I'm thinking that this psychologically or one way or the other contributed to it. So that is one of the main observations. Now, even with that aside, there are a few things that I noticed about the playing squad and the playing team. First of all, in the midfield, I think Partey is being overworked currently. He's doing a lot of overtime. Like when I watch the game from the stands live on the pitch, Partey is doing a lot of overtime. And it's just because it looks like Elisha Owusu is not really supporting him the way he should do, right? If Elisha could up his game a bit, I think we could have some more usefulness from Partey because currently he's doing a lot of defensive duties and we are missing his attacking instinct in terms of giving the through balls, in terms of placing the ball to the forward players and the wide players so that we can have opportunities. So that's something we need to think about going ahead into the Colombia match, right? So that's the first thing. Now, what I saw is leading to this is that for yesterday's match in particular, Ajete, one of our center backs, his performance was a bit below par, and that made Partey do a lot more defensive work than probably expected. So we need to try and then fix that if you want to go forward and then beat the Colombians because they are a very hard attacking team and then they play very physical games. Ajete will have to up his game going forward. Now, in the attack, I think we need to drop Sulemana. I think we need to drop Sulemana because I watched him closely. I don't think, in terms of his defensive duties, he's doing something that anyone who replaces him cannot do. You know, there are some players, let me drift a bit to club football. There are some players they are preferred just because they are very good defensively. One player is Martinelli of Arsenal, right? He gives so much defensively, and obviously it affects his output offensively. So I was trying to do that contrast and then comparison with Suleimana. Why he's still playing? And I was trying to check to see if his defensive duties is part of it, because we all know Carlos Queiroz is a defensive-minded coach, so he would want his players to be very disciplined defensively. But from what I saw on the pitch, I do not think he's doing anything that anyone who replaces him, either Thomas Asante, Enes or Fatao, because Fatao was used on both flanks yesterday. I don't think he's doing anything that they cannot do. But on the other hand, he's really costing us in terms of offensive, right? He makes runs, you give him the ball, there's no end product. And times where he's supposed to make good runs, he's not making those runs. So that's something that the coach needs to think about. I think those were my highlights in terms of what we need to change going forward in the Colombia match. But other than that, what I saw from how the players were interacting with each other, they were interacting with the coach and then all that, I think that the players, first of all, they have respect for the coach, they are listening to instructions, and they are doing their maximum best to try and then give Ghana a good face in this particular World Cup. So based on that, I think we are on the right track. I would say for stability, continuity, and then all that, you would want to continue with this coach, but that's another talk for another day. In terms of the field of play and the tactics, that's exactly what I observed yesterday. Other than the Partey issue, overworking himself, it needs to up his game. Suleimana needs to be dropped. For Jordan, he does what he's supposed to do. For that 60 minutes, we need some kind of stability. So what he's supposed to do, he's doing it. He's always going to play the first 60 minutes. And then we can think of substituting him. And then, because what I think is that if you start with those who usually come in, Prince, Edu, and then NS from the start of, yes, it's really hot. So it's likely that they are going to get tired. And then in the second half, because mind you, we are going to knockout games, which means that we might be going into extra time. So we need to be strategic. So as for Jordan, I can tell you for free that he's always going to start the game, right? Whether you like it or not. So apart from that, I think everything so far about the team and their commitment, it cannot be questioned. So they've done really well. So that is that about it. So now going forward to the Colombia match, I think it's going to be interesting from the fans' perspective. I think the JFA should try and sort out the issues. It's going to be in Kansas City. I'm really close to Kansas City, so I'm trying to get myself a ticket and then be at the game. So hopefully, Sport Talk, we are going to be at the game live again. We are going to be seeing pictures of the game again when we go into it. Yeah, this time I want to enter through this tunnel. So hopefully, Sport Talk will be there to watch the game against Colombia. Oh, okay, it's a bit dark, so just for the sake of light, let me just go out. But yeah, Philly is a nice. This is where I wanted to enter. Philly is a nice city. It's a nice place. The views are stunning, right? So GFA should sort out the ticket issues. This World Cup is expensive. Yeah, the journalists are now finding out because so far they've been playing around the East Coast, Philly, Boston, and then Toronto. They are really close to each other in terms of geography and in terms of connecting flights or doing a road trip. 6 hours should be able to get you there. Now, if you are anywhere from Philly, Boston, Toronto, and you want to get to Kansas City, it's going to take you at least 20 hours drive, right? If you are driving, and if you are going to take a flight, be prepared to pay more than $400, probably for a 5-hour flight, including stops and then all that. Yeah. For me, it's really close to me, so it's going to take just 3 hours drive from where I live in the US and then get to Kansas City. So I'm going to go there anyway. By the way, even for those who are not able to get in, there's always a viewing or a watch party at the stadium. And trust me, guys, trust me, the vibe at those watch parties is insane. It's crazy. It's really nice. So yeah, for me, whatever the case, I'm going to be at the stadium. If I'm not going in, I'll be at the watch party and then have fun and then give you all the reports back. But yeah, that has been my experience at the World Cup, my first ever game watching Ghana Blackstars play Croatia. And yeah, saw a lot of Croatian fans. Most of them have left because their next game is going to be in Atlanta versus Portugal. In my hotel, there was a lot of them. So it's been a party from the time I came to Philly. For me, I'm having a bit of a personal time enjoying a bit more few days before I head out. And then the next destination is going to be Kansas City in Missouri. So yeah, I've not been able to, we've not been able to come live together with Philip to do analysis before, but we've been teasing you with some of the things that's been going on our YouTube and then our Facebook pages. But yeah, I wanted to do this video and then give you a rundown of how the match went yesterday. It was awesome, all in all, positive result because in the end, Ghana qualified. And so we are all excited. Next up is Colombia. I'm not going to do any predictions now. I'm going to sleep, enjoy my time, and I'm sure we're going to come your way with previewing of that match, and then we'll let you know how the expectations should be. So, till we come your way again, Sport Talk, man, fun high. Yeah, what abrochi, aha, Philly. Bye bye.